once again, all my fellow patriots and you filthy leftist stalkers out there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela Box. You're watching Angela's Soapbox, where I say what you are thinking. Got a new backdrop. Hooray, hooray. No more ISIS bride. I want to thank Carolina Galvan of CGTV for lighting a fire under me to help me make this channel look just slightly more professional and not so bootleg. So thank you, Carolina. I will link her information down below. This is going to be a quick video because I got one subject to talk about, and I'm going to try and say this as delicately as I can so it doesn't get memory hold. I want to talk about the murder of Mohammad Anwar. And for that reason, CNN gets the straw for this video, the sea turtle killing plastic straw, because during the reporting of this murder, they refused to name the races of the murderers, and we'll get into that. So this is for you, CNN. And again, we know that if let's put it this way, if the two young girls were white, I think we'd know about it, don't you think? Anyway, the two young girls who murdered Mohammad Anwar, the Uber Eats driver in Washington D.C., it's just I almost dropped a cuss word there. It's just an absolutely horrific crime. And it makes you wonder just how much we've devolved as a society. It actually reminded me of the story right before the 2016 election where the man with special needs who had voted for Trump was tormented and tortured by a group of black teenagers who were torturing him because he voted for Donald Trump. And this man thought that these people were his friends, and they were not. And they put it all on video, and they put it all over the internet, and it was just such massive depravity. And I think that's kind of where I want to start. I think we're in a lot of trouble as a society. And dare I say, in the black community as well. I used to be a teacher, and I taught elementary school, and I've taught in inner city environments. And I will tell you right now that I never experienced anything like that. I was dealing with children who had no home training, and this is a term I learned when I worked at that school. The black teachers told me, yeah, they've had no home training at all. They don't know how to walk in a line. They don't know how to sit still. They start fistfights in class. They disrupt. And I'm talking second graders throwing desks across the room. I mean, it was bad. And whenever I would bring up the behaviors that I saw that they were troubling, and I would say, just, come on, let's act normal. Let's walk in a straight line. You guys can do it. I would be called into my principal's office several times a week to talk about things I had said that offended the parents or offended somebody else, when I would urge the kids to, quote, act normal. And my principal would infer that I wasn't allowed to say such things because I was white. Now, the black teachers could say that because they were black and the students were black, but as a white person, me saying that was a form of white supremacy. That was the inference I received. And I just think that's such a racist construct to say that if you're black, you don't have the ability to act civilized, that you don't have the ability to participate in normal society, that to do so is to act white. And I just find that just the height of racism. So back to the story. The two girls are 13 and 15 years old. Heartbreaking. The fact that these two girls, black girls, carjacked this man, tased him, and the man ended up being murdered. And CNN didn't point out the races of the girls. It didn't matter to them. Didn't matter that Mohammad Anwar is a Pakistani immigrant, which, again, immigrants are supposed to be better and more noble than the rest of us, but that didn't matter because it was the wrong race for CNN. And this is where we are as a society, and this is where I feel like we've just gone totally off the rails. Because, again, to point out obvious things that if you want to participate in a civil society, there are certain things you need to be able to do, like read, write, do math, perform basic adult functions. And the Democrat Party has basically told the black community, you're too stupid and too helpless to behave in a normal fashion, to behave in a civil society. So the old Democrat plantation, we know, was slavery, and of course they are the party of KKK, Jim Crow, and segregation as well. But the new plantation is Section 8 housing, is the ghetto, is their crap schools, is welfare, WIC, food stamps, you name it. And when we talk about the prison or the playground to prison pipeline and how somehow that's white America's fault, it would make my blood boil, because I was in there in the trenches trying to teach these kids and trying to prepare them to be in a civil society. And when I would point out behaviors again that I thought were problematic, I was told to shut up because I didn't understand the culture. It was cultural, don't you see, to throw desks and to jank weave and to not be able to walk in a straight line. And to say otherwise, you're a white supremacist, which I completely reject. I think that we are all of the human race, and as humans, if we want to live in a civilized society, which again, America is rapidly degenerating into a non-civilized society, but if we want to participate in civil society, there are certain expectations of behavior that you need to do, and that's not contingent on skin color. That's just, behaving like a normal human being. So I kind of just want to leave it at that. Again, the real racists in our society excuse this behavior, excuse what these girls did, because the defense these girls are saying is because they killed him because Mohammad Anwar called them the N-word, which I don't believe. And even if he did, who cares? You're telling me that you're so sensitive and fragile you can't take someone calling you a name? I mean, I get called names all the time. So the fact that these girls think that using that excuse is going to get them off the hook, again, tells us where we are as a society. They'll probably use that in their defense in their court case, trying to smear the victim, the man who they murdered. It won't work, and I certainly hope it won't work in the jury. And, they'll be charged as juveniles probably and be out by 21. And God knows what will happen to them then. But I just think we're at a real crossroads in America, because we have one group of people who excuse animalistic behavior and saying that it's someone's culture to behave like animals. It's someone's culture to carjack and to be on welfare, to live in Section 8 housing, everything the Democrats have done to the black community over the last 70 years. And, God love President Trump. He opened a lot of black people's eyes to what the Democrat plantation is today. And that's why they had to get rid of him, isn't it? Because you can't have anyone telling the truth. They couldn't have me telling the truth at the school I was at, and they couldn't have anybody else coming to tell the black community the truth, unless, of course, they're black. But again, but people like Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum trying to talk to the black community, trying to shake them out of the fog of being on the new Democrat plantation, they're called Uncle Toms. They're called house Negroes. So again, I mean, this is kind of where we are, guys. We have people like Cardi B and Lil Nas X with his Satan shoes, and Cardi B with her performing a lesbian sex act on national television, venerated and talked about as role models for children in the black community. It's disgusting to me. And again, people like Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum and others, Chandler Crump, that great kid that's conservative, is going to be a fantastic conservative powerhouse. Someone like Black Conservative Patriot, the amazing Lucas. I'm trying to think of YouTubers I watch. But those people aren't looked up to. People like Cardi B and Lil Nas X are. So kind of tells you where we are in society. And it kind of tells you how our woke overlords, what they really think of the black community. They think you're stupid, and they think you're helpless. So on that note, guys, I will leave it there. Remember, conservatives judge people on content of character, not color of skin. Conservatives go through their lives golden ruling it. The woke, the Democrats, the establishment are the ones who seek to divide us by race, by gender, by ethnicity, etc. Open your eyes and see the truth. Until next time, stay strong. Bye.